I'm Sean Dahl, and I'm the Space Weather Prediction Service Coordinator here in Boulder, Colorado. Well, we've had activity tonight. A lot of geomagnetic storm activity. A geomagnetic storm is a significant geomagnetic disturbance, basically a magnetic storm. And what happens when those occur is we can see things like the northern lights spin up from time to time. But the main focus is what these can do for impacts. But before I get into that, let's talk about what's actually going on right now. We have already had 2 of 3 anticipated coronal mass ejections arrive here at Earth. A coronal mass ejection, or CME for short, is a blast of solar material, charged particles, and a very strong localized magnetic field that stretches out into space from the sun. As I said, 2 of these have already arrived, and they packed quite a punch. We've already reached G4 severe level conditions due to those CME arrivals. We still don't believe that the 3rd CME has arrived yet. We're looking for that midday on the 12th of November, so Wednesday, somewhere around noonish time frame, give or take Eastern time. Could be earlier, could be later. But we don't think that that's arrived yet. But this batch of CMEs that did come in, these 2, were profoundly more stronger than we anticipated. We did have a G2 to G3 level watch out, and we've already reached G4 levels. We do have a G4 watch out for the 12th of November, and that activity is already happening with these first CMEs. So what are we still looking for? That a third of the 3 CMEs to come in, and that was the most energetic and strongest of this activity out there in space. It was traveling significantly faster than these other 2, and we think that's going to pack even a stronger punch than what we've already experienced. So into the overnight hours tonight, we do expect anywhere from G1 through G4 levels to continue. These types of storms can be very variable. There's a lot of dynamics that go on with them, and essentially we have to have the magnetic field of the CME that's passing over Earth be opposite Earth's magnetic field. That's been happening so far this evening, but it can easily turn the other direction and help activity come back down. It can be this way throughout the night, and even with the next CME, we don't know what to anticipate until it arrives at these critical solar wind observatories that we have 1 million miles from Earth. You may have heard of SWIFL L1, the Space Weather Follow-On mission. That's one that's currently en route to replace these old solar wind spacecraft. But what we have out there now has been doing a good enough job to help us figure out what's going to happen here at Earth. So impacts-wise, if you use precision GPS systems, there could be degradation on that. If you need to be accurate in less than an inch, it could be off by much more than that as this type of activity continues. We've been communicating with space launch officials because of a pending launch coming up. That may not happen because of this activity, but that will be for the decision makers to make. We've been talking to some state watch centers, FEMA, even the highest levels of our government at the White House to inform them about this type of activity, because these can impact the electric power grid of our country, the bulk electric system. We notify even well in advance today to the power grid of North America about this pending activity, and it did indeed arrive and already materialize to the levels we were looking for. I have fellow forecasters in here tonight that are also busy handling the situation, so we are very adequately staffed here this evening handling this type of activity. So continue to look for types of posts tonight through our digital communication systems. We'll do another one of these types of recorded updates if it's necessary, but know this as a bottom line. CME's already passing over Earth. We still anticipate that 3rd and potentially strongest CME yet to come. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Sean Steele here at the Space Weather Prediction Center with our new shift of forecasters that have come in as the overnight activity continues. We still currently have what we think are 2 CMEs that have already arrived here at Earth and are still passing over us. The overall strength of the magnetic field from this CME, which is an important key, is not only 8 times stronger than what's normal, but is also favorable at the moment for continued activity. We have just extended our KP of 7 or greater warning, which is G3 or strong levels, until about 4 p.m. Eastern time today. We do anticipate perhaps extending that yet again because we are still expecting that 3rd coronal mass ejection, which we think is still moving through space. We're still anticipating that arrival somewhere around midday Eastern time, give or take, on the 12th. So this new day that's coming up, Wednesday. These CMEs, as they progress over Earth, they oftentimes will deviate and change their magnetic field orientation. If you think of 2 magnets and you try to put positive and positive together, they repel. Same thing with these CMEs. If they come in and they're the same direction as Earth, which is northward, then we don't connect as well, and the activity can suddenly settle down, like's happened already this evening a little bit for a period of time. But when it turns south and points southward, thumbs down, then we connect really well. That's just beginning to happen yet again with the 8 times stronger than normal background levels. And with the new CME coming in, we do anticipate that that could increase. So not only have the G4 watch continuing for today, remember G4 is the greatest watch level that we put out here at the Space Weather Prediction Center, but we do have the KP of 7, the G3 warning going until 4 p.m. Eastern time. The chances for a G5 do exist. We're calling it a slight chance to a chance at this time, but since we're still expecting that third coronal mass ejection arrival, that's going to cause us to have some escalated conditions yet again, perhaps. So we will continue to monitor the situation throughout the evening. Also know that we have some other activity that's ongoing, but we wanted to relay tonight one final time before we do further updates tomorrow, is that we are still anticipating a G4 or greater event, which has already been happening, and we do have a chance for a G5 once again.